I want to start by saying you don't have to collapse to actually know that you need rest, reset, or self care. Well, some have collapsed actually. Sometimes burning out comes through very subtle, very small ways that we're going to discuss here. But having worked, in this healthcare setting for a while now, almost 10 years, I've seen how these things creep in. And if you are working in a hospital, you know, you know of someone who always works. They just pull through. They push through 6 shifts a week, 12 hours each, and they seem to be okay. But there are other times that you can really see something is going on. I've seen nurses, push through double shifts, especially when I was in Kenya. People used to do real double shifts. What I mean is this: you do your night shift from 6 p.m. to 7 a.m. and then they request you, they tell you, somebody didn't show up, you're short-staffed, or yourself, you volunteer. Yeah, I can push another 12 weeks, 12 weeks, 12 hours, and at the end of the shift, you still feel you're energetic. You're even tempted because of the money. You're even tempted to even want to squeeze through the next hours. But slowly your body starts to give in, and you see people having these constant headaches, chest tightness, pure exhaustion. Someone is smiling, patients, but deep down they are falling apart. And let me tell you, I've done it too. I've done a couple of 24 hours. Very risky. That back in the day, very risky. Because I needed this money, I needed to do this and this, and it doesn't stop. You keep telling yourself, let me just do this 24, and the next week I'm going to rest. Does next week really come? No, it doesn't. It just keeps going, because you're like, if I succeeded last week, I'm gonna succeed again. I'm gonna move. I mean, I made that extra cash. I was able to settle a few things. I was able to buy 1, 2, 3. I was able to go for. People never even used to go for vacation. That money is spent buying things here, settling bills, helping someone here and there. It doesn't stop. The more you get, the more your needs get bigger. It doesn't stop. And today, I just felt like, let's talk about signs. How do you know that you're actually running low? What is this that if you see your colleague is showing, then maybe it's time for you to take the responsibility and say, hey, I've been observing you, and this is what I'm noticing. Genuinely, a genuine concern. Because in this life, in this caregiving business, it is a long run. It's a marathon. So we want to be able to show up tomorrow. And as the old adage says, you cannot share from an empty cup. If your cup is running low and you keep pushing, what are you sharing now? So sign number 1, you are always tired. Even after sleep, it doesn't matter whether it's in the morning, whether it's the night time, you are always tired. And you can feel it. You can feel that you need rest. So you go try to sleep for 10 hours. You wake up still exhausted. You maybe think, oh man, this is maybe stress. I've been thinking a lot about something. You go get your medication, try to sleep more. You wake up still tired. That's not laziness. That's your nervous system that is screaming, telling you, please, you are pushing me too far. So that's number 1, always tired. Number 2, this is serious. You've lost your spark. There's a time, if you can remember, when you were starting this caregiving. It could be maybe you started off as a nurse, or maybe you have a loved one that you started taking care of. You had this spark. You had this inspiration to help. You were empathetic. Is that the word? You are showing empathy. You are very kind to people. But now that spark is kind of either missing or from a very far distance. You can't even remember the last time you had a good time. You can't remember the last time you had a good conversation and laughed and felt inspired. You are losing that spark. And you know how the world is so busy, you don't even get time to sit down and find out, am I still inspired to do this? Am I just surviving? And when you see me in the gym, I'm not just there for muscles and strength. Well, that comes in, but I'm a totally different person when I show up at work after working out, and when I show up at work after a couple of days of not working out. I'm a totally different person. It is to your benefit that I get time to go and work out, because that's how it is. That's how I refill this cup. Because over time you start realizing, you start even questioning your decision of becoming a caregiver in the first place. So that's number 2. Number 3, food. Meals, as I always say, the 3 M's: movement, mindset, meals, and movement. Now, meals, food just turns out to be fuel or comfort. How do you know this? You eat out of survival, out of stress. So whatever is available is what you eat. You are stressed, you order junk food, you don't have time to sit and eat and enjoy a good meal. A very subtle sign, right? But if it goes unchecked, my friend, the cost is very expensive. The cost of self-neglect can make you lose your job, your license, your family. So such subtle things, you need to get them checked. Food, you no longer enjoy the food, you're just there. Whatever is there, that's what you'll go with. Very unfortunate. Number 4, anytime you try to rest, you feel guilty. I'm guilty of this, especially us who have come from very far, coming to work here in the US. We come in with one mission: I'm going to work as long as I'm breathing. So you come in, you do all the available shifts, you get a second job, and you pull through. And anytime you try to rest, you feel guilty. How can I rest when my brother's son is sick in the hospital? I need to get money. Let me go get that extra shift to send money back home. It's a very difficult balance, because your reasoning is good. It sounds very humane, very kind, but at whose expense? If you keep doing that and then you are not able to show up to work at all, now no one is helped, not even yourself. So you carry this guilt of resting. You look at your colleagues, they are working 7 hours, 7 days continuously, and you are there doing 3 shifts a week, and you're not even doing them together. You're doing either one you skip, and you look at yourself, am I the lazy one? That guilt starts to eat you up. You feel like you're letting people down if you stop. Now, if such thing, if you are relating to this, just know your body's telling you something. Another one is you stopped dreaming. Now this one is big, man. You've stopped dreaming. You sit down and try to think, I said in the next 5 years, maybe I'll take this course, maybe I'll do my master's, maybe I'll do my degree, maybe I will build this. You stop dreaming because you are in this robotic phase or robotic zone. You are like a robot. You are on auto mode. No longer thinking. You just show up at work, come home, show up at work, come home. That's it. You are now in a survival mode, not living anymore, not thriving, nothing. You know, and that is very dangerous, because now you start feeling like there's no reason. And when someone comes and asks you, I want to go and do nursing, tell them, no, don't do that, because you start now resenting even the job that you once loved. You start discouraging other people not to do it. And it is you have to take responsibility. It is you who has put yourself in such circumstances. I understand there's a lot of short-staffed. We live in an era where you can easily be taken to court, because in the process of care something can happen that puts you in a situation where you have to show up in a court of law. I'm aware of all these things, but there are things that we can control. If you are resentful because of constantly showing up for other people and not yourself, and in the process you discourage other people from doing what you're doing, then there's a problem. Okay, so these 5 subtle, there could be more, but for the sake of time, for the sake of this video, I don't want it to be too long. I want you to sit down and check with yourself. Am I showing any of these signs? And if there is, even if it's one, get it handled. Very simple. And that's why I'm creating this safe space. If any of these hit home, I'm creating this safe space where I'm building a community for caregivers who want to heal, who want to rebuild, and who want to live again without feeling guilty. Just go ahead and comment refill or reset for me to know there's somebody I'm talking to. And I'll go ahead and send you a free 3-minute reset. It's a kind of a guide, a short guide, kind of give you time to sit back and ask yourself, am I still the same person? Am I still in the right direction? Because as I said earlier, the cost of self-neglect is very high. Let's start your comeback together. Until next time, take good care of yourself.